Hi guys, and welcome to Forge Right. Thanks for dropping in. If you haven't seen the channel before, my name's Andy. The channel is based around learning to become a blacksmith, starting as an absolute beginner. I cover setting up the forge, making the tools required to start smithing, learning basic techniques, and developing your skills. I also make metal fabrication videos, which can be very helpful when trying to build some of the tools and equipment that you'll need to use in the workshop. So let's roll the intro and get started on today's video. Hi guys, and welcome to the next stage of making the hammer tongs. Last video, if you haven't seen it, go back and check that out. I made the basic blanks, and today I'm going to be making the nibs into the shapes required to make the hammer tongs. So let's get into it. Got the forge going, got the bars in and heating up, and we'll get forging. Okay, so what I want to do here is just bring these nibs down to a point. While keeping the width the same as it was on the parent bar. Just narrowing them down. Do the left, now do the right. I shall use the distance from the edge of the anvil, hopefully get them to the outside of that hardy hole. We'll see how we go getting there. But that's my measure. And as long as they're the same, we get what we get. So just bringing a taper down and keeping overall same width. I'll tidy them up at the end, and we'll try and get them to be the same length. Getting close. Silly dropsy. Very close. Getting a reasonable taper. Still got too much meat in here, so I can bring a lot more of that section down. Getting very close to being right. Almost. Right, that one's there. It can be prettied up pretty much. Chamfer off the edges.
Obviously just doing a bit of planishing now, because that gets right to the edge of my hardy hole. Beautiful. One's a tad longer than the other. I think the other one must have been slightly thicker in the first place, but there's not a lot in it. If I line my two holes up, I think you can see that one is slightly longer than the other, this one on this side. Okay, time to just drift out these holes. Need to make sure it's nice and hot so that it'll actually go through easy, because this is only very narrow and mild steel, so it'll bend if I don't have it hot enough. Getting there. Well, that's that one. Okay, the plan is to come in with the boss pointing up and the reins sticking out over the end. I've got a 55mm mark along here, so I'll come up against the edge of the boss, the inside of the boss on that, and then put a 90-degree angle curl over from there. So we'll see how we go here. No, look, this one's shorter in the nib and longer in there, so I'm going to have to heat this back up and take more out of here. So come down and shorten this bit up, lengthen that bit out. Right, so looks pretty good. If I sit them end on end, come on, they line up pretty well with each other. Okay, my next stage is to now bring that 90 that way, position it that way, and then start curling the end over. Right, so if I bring that in here, and I just right, what I'm going to have to do now is start trying to bend it over the end of the horn, because it's hard to get that full rounded shape unless you've got a little hardy bick or something like that, which I do not have. I think that's getting there. I'm going gradually at this stage because I really don't want to stuff it up. Yes, they've both got to come over a lot more. That one's actually got to be straightened out there a little bit. So if I bring them, whoops, like that, and then bring them together, you can see one's a lot more curved than the other. So this one's got to be flattened out. I like the shape of that one a little bit better. Just that's not too bad. Yep, that's my pattern job. So as long as I can get the other one to look like that, I'll be happy. And of course it doesn't, so I've got to flatten that out. Bring it down. Not too bad. Righto, just a bit of a view before I go bolting it, before I go riveting it together. What I was going to say is I've got a bolt, an 8mm bolt through there just to see how they line up, and I think they're coming along pretty well. Not exactly the same as each other, but once I get them riveted together, hopefully I'll be able to make them look a lot more like each other. Of course they're not riveted, but they line up reasonably well, I think. Of course the jaws aren't touching each other because I have to put a bit of an, I'm going to put a bit of an offset in here once I figure out exactly how they're going to lay with each other. But that's a pretty good view of how they're going to come together. I've had a bit of a minor family emergency, so I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to post this and I'll get back to you with the final fit up in a final video. Righto guys, glad you could join me here on Forge Wright, and as I say, I'll get the final fit up of these reins together as soon as I can. Got to deal with a medical emergency first, so those family things come first, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.